All right, guys. Aaron Carter has passed away. Isn't that so sad? I mean, he was such a adorable kid, and then he grew up with drug addiction and serious drug problems, and had to battle that for a long time. And then he ended up dying in a bathtub because he had overdosed, right? So really terrible, right? So anyway, guys. He was only 34, and like Whitney Houston, he had passed, and he was very much troubled. And the thing about some, they say child actors, you can't have them because they're troubled. They have a hard time. They're used and then abused and then thrown on the wayside, and they have to fend for themselves. I understand that child actors can have a hard time, and they do have a hard life, for sure. But we need child actors, obviously. I mean, what are children going to watch, right? So they have to have some child actors, right? But I totally understand. I mean, for me, I'm so glad I wasn't a child star. I'm so glad I never dealt with it as a child, because I think it would have been too much for me to handle. But I mean, growing up not being famous ever, and then all of a sudden being famous, I really feel, well, I'm not famous yet, but I'm getting there. I really feel that because I grew up not being famous, I learned a lot more that way, and went to university, got 2 degrees, really learned how to be a person that can handle life better, and deal with things. I'm really glad that I never had to be a child star. I mean, for me, it's so happy for me. But not everyone is like that. Britney Spears, I mean, we all know Britney can be a bit of a mess, but she's done quite well for herself, right? And she was a child star. We need child stars only because what are children going to watch, right? They can't just watch adult stars all day, right? Anyway, I really believe that Aaron Carter would have been happier if he hadn't been doing any drugs and if he hadn't been in that lifestyle. But sometimes that lifestyle becomes part of you because you are surrounded by certain people or surrounded by a certain lifestyle that you have allowed yourself to be in. So, it just really is something that you can't really control to some extent. I mean, he had mental health issues as well, lots of mental health illnesses as well. He had mental disorders like schizophrenia. He had um, schizophrenia, bipolar. I think he had some other ones too. So I mean, mental health and drug addiction, very bad combination, right? So if you guys are out there wondering, oh, Marco and Mileena, perfect people, perfect, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Part of the reason why I'm so successful, I'm not that there yet, but I'm not really, really famous, but I will be, dog. I will. But the reason why I'm really going to be successful is because I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't smoke any kind of cigars or cigarettes. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't drink coffee, and I don't even drink pop, darling. That's how much it is. How much the extent of my non-addiction is. All right. So when you see all that, you're thinking, my goodness, that's really good. And so but that's the thing, right? Like they say, if you are addicted to drugs, it is mental health. I mean, no matter who you are, if you say you're not, if you're addicted to drugs and you say, oh, it's because I choose to, or because I want to, because I like the taste or whatever. And some people might agree to that. That's okay, but I think for the most part, if you're severely addicted to drugs or alcohol or cigarettes or cigars or whatever you're addicted to, if you're severely addicted, chances are it's a mental health issue. It's very common that it will be a mental health issue. And so I understand that most people are like, well, um, I a lot of people would agree with that. I think it's really important to note that mental health is really kind of like what happens to you when you are allowing those things in your life, right? Anyway, if you need help quitting smoking or you need help quitting drugs or alcohol or whatever, there are counseling lines you can call. Just Google them. There's support lines. There's some that are even for free, all right? So you can call them to get support. You can go to AA, you can go to addiction services. I mean, there's so many things, and I'm supportive of the people that I know that have gone through drug and alcohol addiction because it's really tough to go through, you know? You don't want to have to live life like that, and it's really hard, and I know people that have gone through it, and I totally understand it's not easy. So to give yourself a break and allow yourself to find a way to get better without having to deal with all these issues. Anyway, I'm so supportive of people healing and getting back to normal and recovering from these addictions. It's important that you can recover because, you know, addiction is very traumatic. Anyway, totally enjoyed the show, guys. Thank you so much, guys. We will miss Aaron Carter. What a great soul. Super talented as a kid. His life has so much promise, right? Anyway, totally enjoy. Bye now. Bye, everyone.